Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, April 11th. Nope, that's not quite right. No. Okay. The surviving soldier of the military helicopter crash several days ago told the prosecutors that he does not remember anything about the event. This was a blow to the prosecution, who considered him to be the main witness in providing information that could help reveal the cause of the crash. Officers of the judicial police went to interrogate the soldier in the hospital, but he told them he can't remember anything. Questioning the soldier earlier had been impossible. According to his doctors, the soldier was still in shock. The prosecution is planning to send the camera off of the helicopter to Germany. Meanwhile, the Minister of Defense and the Chief of Staff for the Albanian Armed Forces held a meeting with the leaders from Farka Air Base. The Minister of Defense declared that they and the prosecution are doing everything they can to learn the truth about the helicopter crash in Shkodër. The minister appealed to the military staff to continue working with dedication. The government's new project to include the history and culture of religious beliefs in schools will be first introduced in the 6th grade and then again in the first year of high school. The name of the subject has not been decided, but information about the history of various religions and religious tolerance will be of the highest priority. The Minister of Education and Sports clarified that the Albanian students will learn about the history of each religion, preserving the secularity of schools. The minister also added that teachers will be trained to teach this new subject and that the history of religion will not be taught by clerks. Albania will not experiment with educating our youth. We will work with experts from the Ministry of Education in cooperation with the Observatory on Secularism and the Ministry of Education in France. Teachers will be trained to teach this new subject, said the minister. To the Catholic Church, the absence of such subject in the education program is a gap in the education system. The only concern for the Catholic Church is the preparation of teachers to teach the students over the religious system. Meanwhile, the students themselves are not clear what they will learn through this new subject. The Ministry of Education has invited all the critics to participate in consulting sessions to learn more about this new subject. The school subject for the history and culture of religious beliefs will be part of pre-university system curricula for the 2016-17 school year. The Minister of Social Welfare presented the bill on social insurances today in the Parliamentary Economic Commission. The minister announced that 14,000 families were refused economic aid, claiming false statements that they made regarding their revenues. The minister rejected the accusations that the families were refused aid for having a television in their houses. He clarified that this is not a criteria that determines whether a family will receive economic aid or not. The majority MPs raised their concern regarding how data for revenue from immigration and agriculture will be verified. Currently, around 80,000 Albanian families receive economic aid, with about half of those families receiving only partial economic aid. The Parliamentary Economic Commission rejected the Democrat MP Gerdi Bogdani's initiative to pardon the energy costs up to 150 kilowatt per month for poor families. The European Union is funding the reform of public finance management aimed at increasing control over how taxpayer money is used. The EU will give €125 million to the Albanian government over the next 4 years. Albania's Minister of Finance said that public funds are being strengthened and revenues are being increased as a result of the fight against informality and improving the debt structure. Strategy for management of public finance is important for the citizens. There has been progress with the management of finances. The reform has been praised by the European Council. There is progress with the structure of the debt. Revenues for the 3 first months of 2016 have improved, declared the Minister of Finance. Meanwhile, the European Union ambassador urged the government to provide more accountability. Also, the EU ambassador urged Parliament and the Supreme State Audit to exercise more control over public funds. The public finance strategy, funded by the European Union, was adopted 15 months ago. It provides greater control over state funds and more accountability on how they will be used. Democratic Party chairman held a closed-door meeting with opposition allies to focus on the electoral reform. Sources from the meeting told to Aura News that the ally parties have asked Mr. Basha for a change of the electoral system, but the DP chairman responded that this issue will be discussed in another moment. To the DP chairman, the most important thing for the moment is the electronic voting and counting. The Democratic Party chairman declared, "We have agreed to consolidate our stances on 3 main issues for the electoral process. Free and honest elections are our main priority. Our platform includes guaranteeing a free vote, an electronic vote count, and also electronic voting. The issue of party funding is also of great interest. The funding of the party should be transparent. We also discussed the electoral system. The parties want a system that guarantees representation of Albanian citizens. Thirdly, we discussed the opposition's platform, our proposal to offer Albanian citizens an economy that generates employment and enriches the citizens, not a weak economy." Prime Minister Edi Rama, who is an official meeting in the U.S. today, was absent at the Socialist Parliament meeting regarding the party's chairman mandate. The Socialist MP MP Blushi considers Saturday's referendum to have been manipulated and raised his concern in today's meeting. MP Blushi asked to the Socialist Party group for the electoral material, a request that was reiterated to the media after the meeting. "There was a low participation in the referendum. I asked for the electoral materials. Today we still do not know the result of Saturday's referendum. The referendum was made to stop me from racing for party chairman. The standard we created with this referendum, which removes the right to be elected, is becoming ridiculous," declared the Socialist MP. Sources within the meeting say that the chairman of the group asked MP Blushi to file his request about the electoral material with the Central Election Commission. However, according to Blushi, the SP group is not the appropriate body to make this request. Aura News also learned that the chairman of the SP group criticized the MPs for their absence in plenary sessions. He told them that attending the plenary session is an obligation. That's all for our news tonight in English. Please join us again tomorrow at 6 o'clock. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.